All right. Speaking of nailing it, David Bossie, the former deputy campaign manager for Donald Trump and Fox News contributor and friend of the show, is here with us this morning. Good morning and happy Father's Day.
Good morning.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and happy Father's Day to everybody. Happy Father's Day to my dad this morning.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely. Well, this morning, the president waking up at Camp David with his family for Father's Day. But it has been a long and busy week. Described by him in tweets even this morning as a witch hunt, whether it's the new special counsel Bob Mueller, whether it's the deputy, deputy counsel Rob Rosenstein, others who are now digging in, and there's wonders whether there's conflicts of interest, whether this investigation is moving in the right direction. If you are the president, what are you thinking this morning about how you approach getting rid of this dust cloud so that you can move on to your agenda?
Well, I would stay focused on my agenda if I'm President Trump. For the next several weeks, you must really put yourself in a position to come back into Congress during the summer and have some legislative victories, whether it's getting health care through the Senate, health care repeal and replace through the Senate, whether it's tax reform beginning to get rolling in the House. You just had an infrastructure week about a week or so ago that you're rolling out your infrastructure plans. President Trump is living up to the promises that he made to the American people during the campaign, and that's really going to be his success with the American people, is going to be what they want, what they voted for him, is to bring change to Washington, and that's what he's been doing.
Okay, but
as it relates to the investigations, the president is frustrated, and I know he's frustrated and I'm frustrated for him. Look, we've had a longer than 7-month investigation into the ridiculous allegations of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Over 7 months, going on a year now of these allegations, and there's been no evidence brought to bear in that case.
Look, to that point, David, there are a lot of people wondering, where on earth are the Republicans? Where is their outrage? One of those people, our own Judge Jeanine last night.
You want to talk Russia? Let's talk about Russia. Let's talk about the sale of 20% of our uranium to Russia and Hillary Clinton signing off on the deal. The Clinton Foundation, that slush fund for Hillary, receiving $140 million, and Bill Clinton getting more than twice or triple his normal speech fee. You're empowered, damn it. Do something. Pass something. Cut this kumbaya crap. Put on your big boy pants and act like you're in power. Act like you give a damn. And more importantly, convince us that you're not in on the effort to take down the President of the United States.
David, to her point, Republicans are the ones in power right now.
Oh, certainly. And I think you see members of the House and Senate. Look, the president's having members of the House and Senate over to the White House routinely during the day. He is starting to have private dinners with them in the evening. I think doing those types of efforts, conducting those efforts, socializing with these members, getting to know these members. You have to remember, the president's an outsider. He is not a Washington, animal that has been here forever, like many politicians, and that's why you see a lot of Republicans don't step up, because they don't know him. And I think that that's going to get better over time.
But, David, whether they know him or not, they know his agenda, they know what he stands for. It's stuff that they've been advocating for forever. He's been fighting. The American people gave him a mandate. The left is going after him in every single way. Yet, where's Mitch McConnell? Honestly, where's Paul Ryan? Out in the public, making the case. This isn't about Russia. This isn't about collusion. This is not obstruction. This is an agenda, and they're trying to discredit this president. Where is that fight? Because I don't see it. I see Newt Gingrich. I see Duncan Hunter. I see a few voices. Where are they leading the charge?
That is, you guys are right on point this morning. There's very few of us out here carrying the president's message to the American people every day, and there needs to be more. The Republican Party needs to step up. The RNC needs to step up. The leaders in the House and Senate need to step up to support this president and his agenda, and make sure that the American people understand what is going on and the politics behind this incredibly irresponsible investigation, which is quite honestly enormously dangerous for the American people, because there was nothing to the collusion charge. So now this investigation is pivoted to obstruction, which again, there is no obstruction. Everybody across this political spectrum is saying the president has no obstruction charge here. That is a ridiculous charge by the Democrats, and the president has done nothing. Jim Comey has actually said in testimony there is no obstruction, so there is none.
And David, we've spent the last 7 minutes here beating up the right because the left is pretty unified as to their approach in trying to attack the president. Check this out. This was from Joy Reid over at MSNBC. She tweeted this. Rep. Scalise was shot by a white man with a violent background and saved by a black lesbian police officer.
And she says, and yet it points to, of course, a number of issues that, as Pete was saying, it's not necessarily totally conservative, but somewhat mainstream, like traditional marriage.
Repeal and replace Obamacare, traditional marriage, as you said, Abby, and the Second Amendment. Apparently, that makes Steve Scalise extreme enough that she makes this kind of charge. I mean, they don't back down even when a guy's on a hospital bed.
But most importantly, the timing is just horrible. Yeah. Horrible.
These people are sick. I'm going to be honest with you. Whether it's the liberal media or the Democratic leadership in the House and Senate, they have a sickness, and that sickness is that their hate of Donald Trump. He beat their candidate. He beat Hillary Clinton soundly, and they cannot get over that. And so they, for the last 6 months, have done nothing but try to undermine the president legislatively, and they've done nothing but just inspire the hate in people. You see it on college campuses, whether that's taking down the First Amendment across the country, and that is the violence that they bring. And this guy who shot Steve Scalise, is part of what they created. The left created this person. And so for these guys to sit out there and say things like that in the aftermath is shameful.
It's horrific.
David, in order for them to get their agenda passed, though, to go back to the original subject for the Republicans, they have to get rid of this witch hunt dust cloud. You've been part of the metaphorical war room to try to take this on. Is there a change that needs to happen, either with the special counsel or at DOJ, so that you feel like you get a fair shake so that you can move forward with the agenda? Specifically.
I think your question is does Mueller have a conflict of interest with Jim Comey in this investigation?
Yes.
And I think that's going to really play out, because the statute says, that if you are a friend, it is hard to investigate someone that you have a professional, personal relationship with. And if there's any two people that have a relationship, a personal relationship as friends, it's Jim Comey and Mueller. It is these two people to go back 20 years together in some of the toughest fights. And so they've had each other's backs. And so to think that Mueller could investigate impartially, I know people say he is a good man. I understand that. But these statutes are written even with good men and women in mind. And so these statutes say that if you have the appearance of impropriety or actual, a conflict, not impropriety, but a conflict, an appearance of conflict or actual conflict, you must step aside. And I think you look at the team that is being built of Hillary supporters, of donors being put on this team. I wonder what's going on behind the scenes and why they're doing this. Why are they giving the American people even more of a cloud over this investigation?
And what are they investigating at this point?
David, thank you. Good to have you.
That's right. Forget what they're investigating for a moment.
David, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
I still can't get over this Joy retweet. I'm sorry.
It's insane.
After the shooting happened, we talked about the political rhetoric dying down. This is exactly what we were referring to. When someone is fighting for their life and you point out their politics.
And we both know, Joy, she's not this kind of a person. I think this is coming from...
She talks about race all the time. What did race have to do with this?
I think this is coming from across the street.
What did race have to do with
it? It is heightened, Pete.
Well,
it came from across the street.
You know what? All I will say is,
what does race
America, we are better than this. We are better than tweeting out these things at this time in our politics. Anyway, now to some other headlines I want to get to, starting with a Fox News alert. The Navy calling off the search for 7 missing sailors. A senior U.S. official tells Fox News all 7 were found dead on the USS Fitzgerald. The crash happening with a merchant ship off the coast of Japan when many sailors were sound asleep. Well, the vice admiral off the Navy